Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have roll call, please?
Supervisor Glassman?
Here.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Present.
Councilman Tempori?
Here.
Councilman Ruthven?
Here.
Councilman Boyd?
Here.
All present.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, our first item is for municipal repairs. Right after the last meeting, we had an emergency repair that had to be performed on a sanitation truck. So the repair was done for a total of $17,706.02. So I'm just asking that we approve it tonight.
Approve and ratify all the actions
Yes.
taken by town officials. It was a threat to public
Public safety.
health and safety, yes, to not have it functioning.
Yep. Everyone
Okay.
good with? All right.
So we want to read it?
First one? So I make a resolution authorizing municipal repairs to make emergency repair to sanitation unit number 17. Whereas by email dated April 12th, 2023, Nicholas Mancuso, Town of Kent Municipal Repair Service Manager, informed the town board of the need for emergency repairs to sanitation unit number 17. A copy of said email is annexed hereto and incorporated herein by reference. Whereas, according to Mr. Mancuso, the sanitation department was already down 2 units, and Unit 17 needed immediate repair. And whereas the town board wishes to accept the quote of Danbury Auto Spring for the emergency repair of Unit 17 for an overall cost of $17,706.02. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts the quote of Danbury Auto Spring to provide the emergency repairs to Unit 17 for an overall cost of $17,706.02. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby approves and ratifies all acts herefore taken by the town board, town supervisor, and any and all other town officials in connection with the emergency repairs. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item, I'll invite our highway superintendent up here to discuss the stop sign on Miller Hill.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, I was given a request by the board to remove the stop signs on Miller Hill. The, which school is that again?
Madden, I asked the
The
same.
Madden Center has been closed down now. And I have residents on Miller Hill that or live near Miller Hill. They do not want the stop signs taken down. And I have a lot of people that are asking that they are taken down. So I don't care one way or the other myself. But I had asked town council and the supervisor that we bring this up in like 3 consecutive meetings, just so people are aware. It wasn't just like that, because as soon as we take them down, Kevin, you're gonna get a bunch of phone calls, and I'm gonna get a bunch of phone calls. But you know, it is a tight road, and people do speed on it, but you're really not supposed to use regulatory signs as speed control devices. So it's fine with me, and that's all I ask.
Okay. So we just wanted to introduce it tonight, and we'll hold it over in case anyone has comments, or if anyone in the audience has comments on it for now, but.
It's not in the town code, and we're not required to have a public hearing to change it by local law. We usually do this by resolution, but the board wanted people to know about it ahead of time.
So, and we'll make the decision then next week, because we're here next week.
I think we were going to do it on the 3rd meeting.
Oh,
so
okay.
And then
All right.
Talk about it at the next meeting
So we'll
and
talk
then
about it again next week.
adopt a resolution at the
On the third one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if we take them down, you need a resolution to take speed limit and the stop signs down, because if we took them down and we didn't have a resolution and there was an accident, the first thing the attorneys are going to do is they're going to say, well, there were stop signs there.
Those
Where's
attorneys.
the resolution that they're done? So,
Okay.
and that's it for me. Any other questions with any?
On the same note, if we take the stop signs down, and I agree that it should come down, but it is not an active camp right now, but it's still owned by Northern Westchester Putnam Bose's, I believe.
So it's technically a school district. Could we lower the speed limit through that section if it is considered a school zone?
You could do that, I guess, yeah, even though it's not active, you can use that to your advantage.
Just as a way, because you do, like you said, they come down through there really quick, and if we had a lower speed limit, we'd like to see that camp Sunday open back up again, and it'd be beneficial. My only other suggestion for it would be to put a crosswalk in, and then I could see it as a legitimate single stop sign. It's a stop sign, but coming the other way, it's another stop sign. They aren't back to back. You're stopping, I don't know, 20 yards down the road coming up the hill.
Yeah.
So it's a stop sign with this gap in the middle. So if it was an active school zone, we could put a crosswalk there. And I think we can put a stop sign on a crosswalk legally, can't we?
I'd have to look at the manual, but I would think so. There's I don't know why, but a huge amount of Connecticut people come through Miller Hill. I know it's a big avenue for Dutchess. People go down to Farmers Mill to get, I guess, to the Taconic.
Yeah.
But I don't know why there's all these, and the same thing with White Pond Road. White Pond Road has a lot of Connecticut plates coming down it. I observed it a few times. But you know what, maybe we should put a letter into the school board and see what their intentions are with the center, because when we blacktopped it and we did the bridge, I was parking my trucks up there. I ended up parking them on Dean Ryder's property. But this one guy I almost got into a fight with him. He called from the school board and he was saying, "Oh, you can't park your trucks." But that's a turnpike. That's one of the original turnpikes. And we actually have a 66-foot right-of-way on Miller Hill Road. So then I confronted him and I took the tape out and I said, "Well, your buildings are on town property." Because it's a dedicated road, and a few of those buildings are actually on the town of Kent property because it's a legal, it's an old turnpike, but it never changed. It's still on the books as that with a 66-foot right-of-way. So anyway, all right, so we'll do 3 meetings and
Thank you.
good with the highway?
One other thing I'd like to bring up while you're here, we've discussed it on the side note before, but I'd like the board to be aware that we're even considering it as an overall lowering of the speed limit for the Park District of Lake Carmel, and what we can legally lower the entire speed limit, because it's an ongoing problem around there. There's been discussion at the Park Advisory Board meetings about other measures, putting speed bumps in. I think you explained to them why that's not a great idea.
Yeah.
But I think you alluded to the fact that we do have the right at least to go down, 5 miles an hour or something
Yeah,
in that Park District.
The rules that they enacted, the legislature, we don't qualify because we don't have 50,000 people, so we're not a suburban town. We do not live within, I think it's 20 miles of a city with 100,000 people or more. So we don't qualify. And then I called the DOT, and the DOT doesn't authorize this. It's the State Department. So I called the State Department. I think Supervisor and Council, did I forward you that email?
You did.
Yeah, so they said, and I haven't gotten clarification yet, but what they're saying, which I think they're saying, is we would enact a local law, which we have a right to do for certain things for a speed limit in the lake districts. And because we can't get the approval for the speed limit through the way the new law is, so we would enact a local law, and then we would ask our legislators, the senator and the assembly person, to get that passed in Albany, and then it would go on the books. But it seems like in Albany, nobody really knows what they're doing, because once I got in touch with the State Department, they told me I should call the DOT, who told me I should call the State Department. And so it's typical Albany. But still, I'm not going to take any action until you guys get a letter from Lake Carmel, or the other one is Lake Sagamore. They have to request it from the town board, and then you guys ask me, and I think that's the route we take, and then I'll be in touch with you.
Lake
But
Sagamore or Tibet? Tibet. Lake Tibet is the other park district.
No, well, I didn't know they wanted one, but Sagamore is the biggie. Sagamore has a lot of people walking around it.
Is that technically a park district at Sagamore? Let me ask you.
It's not
this.
a park district.
Let's
That is a
back
park
up.
district.
If we do something like this, can we do it in just areas we want, or does it have to be a jurisdictional area like a park district?
You're supposed to, if you do it the way the new law reads, which we don't qualify to do it that way, you're supposed to have a study done by a traffic civil engineer. The state said they would provide one to us for free. but we don't qualify through that route. And then they were suggesting we just make a local law and do it that way. Lake Carmel is really easy to do because they're already a subdivision. We just take that map, and, you know, when I spoke to Nick Chappis and Insight Engineering, you just take that map and it's done. Now, if you did Lake Tibet and Lake Sagamore, you would just do Old Forge Road, you know, just around the lake, and Tibet, you would just do around Lake Tibet.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to get too involved naming too many roads, because you would have to designate the roads themselves, so you don't really want to overcomplicate it.
Well, it's nothing I think we're ready to move on anytime soon. I think it's just something we want to start to discuss and kick around and you know, get all the answers for. I think it's, you know, it's a suggestion that came through the Lake Carmel Park Advisory Board, and it's something I've been thinking about at this point. I think it gives, you think about it this way, if they're going 10 miles an hour over the speed limit down East Lake Shore, they're doing 40 miles an hour. And if we make it down to 25, at least it's maybe bringing them down to 30. I don't know. You know, it's something to try to slow them down a
Well, you
little bit.
empower the police too. They do
They
speed
empower
in Lake
the
Carmel, and there's a lot of small roads there. When my guys are working there, I mean, it's, everybody's like this.
Yeah.
Had tuna fish for lunch today, how about you?
And there's a lot of kids on that road, down by the lake, by the basketball court, you know, going around the lake and on the trail. They're riding their bikes around the lake, they're fishing. So it's an area we really gotta put a lot of attention into. Something bad's gonna happen if we don't.
Oh yeah, Lake Carmel's a beehive in the nice weather, everybody's out. So,
Thank you.
that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Yep. Maybe that's half of Jeopardy.
All right, so we will hold that stop sign over till next week. The next item is, we received an email from the courts from Judge Curtis requesting us allowing him to hire a temporary court clerk, Kristen McDonald, to work one Wednesday night per month at a rate of $30 an hour, because his clerk that is there one Wednesday month, she's not available to come in. So that is the request. Any comments?
We're either paying one or we're paying the other.
Yes,
so it
it's the
doesn't
same,
matter.
it's the same rate of pay
Yeah, okay.
as the other part-time person. for court.
All right.
Someone want to read the,
Yeah, I make a motion to adopt a resolution appointing a temporary court clerk. Whereas there is a need for a temporary part-time justice court clerk, and whereas the town justice Tim Curtis has recommended the town hire Kristen McDonald to work as temporary part-time court clerk for one Wednesday night per month at the rate of $30 per hour. Whereas the town board wishes to accept the recommendation of the town justice, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby appoints Kristen McDonald as temporary part-time clerk of the town of Kent Justice Court for one Wednesday night per month at the rate of $30 per hour. I make that motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion that we add an item to the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
As some of you may already know, we are dealing with a company for recovery assistance for the FEMA disaster. I don't know, how do you want to explain this? We need to go out to bid to see if we can find the best company. No, what?
I thought we already,
we-
let me do
I
mine.
think you may have already authorized the clerk to go to advertise for bids, but you didn't have the actual request for proposals to give them yet.
let's pass that.
All right, so we're passing a resolution to do a request for proposal. Right?
We already, yes,
We're authorizing the clerk to
advertise.
advertise. I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town clerk to advertise for a request for proposals for the FEMA disaster recovery assistance for Lake Carmel. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just to add to this, because I've seen a lot of comments on Facebook about it, people are commenting because the walking path looks great and it's beautiful, but there are still people that are complaining about the broken bridge and the fact that it's still broken. So just so everyone at home knows, and I'm hoping Bobby and Kathy, you can spread the word too on Facebook or among people, that we are working tirelessly with FEMA. I mean, every day, pretty much, we're doing something to try to get them so that we get the money so that we can fix the bridge. We have the bridge, as everyone knows, but we are waiting for them to give us the okay to do the work.
Right, so, in the company that we have hired now, we hired up to a certain dollar amount to not go over the threshold, but obviously it's gonna go over. And I will tell you, the response and the interaction with FEMA at this point with this company has been very good. They are constantly in communication, and we're CC'd on the emails, and they're straightening out all the problems we were at. We're getting the right things signed and the right things put in the right columns that we didn't have them there before, and FEMA wasn't telling us. I don't think they knew
Well,
that
it
they
doesn't
weren't
help
in
when
the
you
right
get a
columns.
different FEMA person every time you call. But there was a lot of turnover. I don't think FEMA's a good company to work for.
We've learned a lot about
I'm
FEMA.
confused.
Yeah.
I thought you hired a company already and that it wasn't going to cost anything.
Well,
We have to pay them, then we get reimbursed. It goes on the FEMA
Right,
submittal.
okay, but in the
Right.
long run, okay, so why do we have to go out to bid
Because there's a threshold for going out for how much we can pay.
even for professional?
Well, as you know, professional services are exempt from the bidding requirements, but we do get critiqued when we don't at least go out for proposals. So we're going to see what else comes in and try to get the best possible price for these types of consultants, although most of them won't service a town this size.
they want to deal with like New York City.
Okay, so you're saying, right, so you're saying up to a threshold, which.
Which
have
we authorized. a
Right,
certain dollar.
so, because you don't want to go backwards either.
We are.
Okay,
They're still working for us at this point in time.
okay, while you're going out to see
Yes.
if anybody else
Yeah.
and.
Almost daily, we're getting emails between FEMA and them, so they're still working in our interest, right, constantly.
Okay,
We just,
this was very
We,
confusing.
as confusing as it sounds, it's even more confusing, trust me. We're getting letters saying that we didn't have the right people authorized to do this, even on the town level. They had a former supervisor still named on there who hasn't even been part of this really at all.
I did
mean,
4 FEMAs and 2 were as a volunteer, so I don't understand where they changed everything. I mean,
Well-
yes, did they always send in people and you got 3 this week and then you got 3 next week? Yes, they always did that. But,
And the people that we are dealing with, we've been told this, are working out of Puerto Rico. That's where their office is out of, and it's changing over. Every time we feel like we're dealing with somebody on something, we're starting all over again. But the people we have working for us now worked for FEMA. They
In
know-
Puerto Rico.
In Puerto Rico, and they know the inside routes to get things done, and I feel like where we've been spinning our wheels
hey, I'm
for
free on
a
Mondays
year,
and
all of a
Tuesdays, I
sudden
can
now,
make
we're
phone
actually
calls.
starting to move forward with this.
I know how to nag.
But it's
I
not,
could do it
because I
on
know I
Mondays and
see that
Tuesdays.
online. I see people are like, well, give me the number, I'll make the phone calls. It's
Yeah,
not
it's-
phone calls. It's not, trust me, we're making the phone calls. It's
Yeah.
not, it's
They're
the
just not-
portals, it's, then they send, because Richie Othmer was listed on it because he had FEMA, and then they said, oh, no, we can't accept anything that has Richie Othmer's name on it because he's not part of this project.
They just attached it to old
It just got
FEMA
attached,
requests
but-
from before. It's gotten so screwed
So we had to
up.
go back to the beginning, take his name off of it,
Oh,
and,
my God, yeah. Okay, well, I
Right.
just needed the clarification, thank you.
but we are hoping, trust us, we want the broken bridge fixed.
Forever,
Yes.
forever and ever and ever. I make a motion to add an item to the agenda.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. The other night at the planning board passed unanimously a bond amount, which unfortunately we don't have, but we're going to approve the bond amount as it was approved at the planning board for the Ranieri project, so we can move this project forward. It's been hanging out there for a while. So I'd like to make a motion, subject to the receipt of the planning board approval, we would like to accept the bond amount that was approved unanimously for the Ranieri project. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. You're up.
Vouchers already?
That time.
My vouchers aren't on.
I didn't
So with the vouchers, the only one I don't see on there is the Danbury Auto Spring. Do we know if we received that?
Do you have a copy of,
I didn't see it in the batch, but I don't know if you want to approve it just in case it comes in tomorrow.
all
The
right,
17, well,
17,
but we just approved it, so do we need to add it to the voucher?
We usually add it to the
Okay,
list
so
too.
then add that one. just
17,
706,
706, 02.
02.
Danbury Auto
Auto
Spring.
Sprint, yeah.
Okay, just in case it comes in tomorrow.
And they are very reputable. I've used them many times.
And we already used them,
This-
so we
Prior
have
to?
to pay them.
And this
No,
is
well, okay.
sanitation repair.
unit
okay.
number 17.
Yep.
It's unit number 17,
All
like
right,
you want like
yeah, I
a,
don't really care about that.
okay.
All right, I asked the board to approve the vouchers from April 25th, 2023. Arco Motors, $6,610.27 for truck parts. Carmel Central School District, $3,185 for gym rental. Dunright Excavating Incorporated, $45,000 for the Lake Carmel Walking Path. Global Montello Group, $5,067.03 for diesel. Metal Building Restoration, $45,575.41 for requisition number 14. New York State Department of Civil Service, $260,338.85 for health insurance for April. New York State Unemployment, $3,243.52 for the first quarter for unemployment. Ring Squared, $3,471.81 for telephone service. Laura Roberts, $2,160 for the prosecutor for February. Royal Karting, $4,927.18 for recycling for garbage in March. Springbrook Holding Company, $6,934.66 for finance software maintenance. Town of Kent Municipal Repairs, $19,147.25 for chargebacks for highway in January, and $9,814.74 for chargebacks for sanitation in January. And Danbury Auto Springs, $17,706.02 for sanitation unit number 17. I ask the board to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I have a couple of announcements. On May 6th at Canopus Beach parking lot, Fonssac State Park, the Putnam County Department of Health is doing residential household hazardous waste drop-off day. Pre-registration is required. You can call 845-808-1390, extension 43125. And let's see, we have some exciting new programs for rec. We have flag football starting June 3rd, 6 weeks. Then we have martial arts also starting in May. And we're bringing back summer camps this year. This summer, they're coming back to Kent. Sports and Games Camp will be July 17th through the 20th and July 31st through August 3rd. And we will also have volleyball camp July 10th through 13th and July 17th to 20th. They will be Monday through Thursday, 9 to 3. Any information for any of this, you can visit the website or call Recreation. And then also, as a reminder to people, on June 10th, we are doing E-Waste Day at the Town of Kent, as well as Medication Take-Back Day. So bring your e-waste, bring your medication that you have that you want to get rid of on June 10th, 9 to 12, right here at Town Hall. That's all I have.
Lake Carmel, if everybody hasn't seen yet, the walking path is going very well. And we just finished this week the Beach 4 bulkhead for the docks. And the minute they got over where it was, the footings were in, they closed the valve and the lake is raising at this point. It looks like it's raising pretty good.
Yeah, it raised a lot.
Yeah.
All right, next.
On Sunday, April 30th, from 10 to 1 p.m., Lake Carmel Fire Department is having an open house. You can see it on the street signs that we have out. They are having Touch a Truck for the Kids. So Sean, if you want to go touch a truck, you're more than welcome to.
I will be there. by the way.
And
With a
then
truck?
With a
Chief
truck.
Owens gave me this. The Kent Police Department is sponsoring a blood drive May 1st, 2023, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Lake Carmel Firehouse Meeting Room. You can check with the Kent PD for more details, but that is from 9 to 3 on May 1st, which is Monday, I believe. Happy May already. That is it for me.
Okay, I have a few. First of all, I want to thank the Kent Beautification Committee and the Kent Conservation Advisory Committee for organizing a successful town cleanup last Saturday, Earth Day. The Beautification Committee posted this announcement to please join them in congratulating the winners of this year's Great Lake Carmel Earth Day Cleanup Competition. First place, Aim Carey. Second place, Caroline Luchin. Third place, Maura Cordero. 3 of the nicest kids you'll ever want to meet, and they all did a great job, not a word about the nasty weather or rummaging around to pick up garbage. The Lake Carmel community should be very proud of them and their moms and dads for getting them involved and leading by example. And thanks again to our community sponsors who stepped up to support the kids and this effort at Limney, Carmel Creamery, Carmel Brick Oven Pizza, Extreme Signs and Apparel, LLC, and Excel Printing. And besides Lake Carmel, we had participation from the members of numerous lake communities, such as Hill and Dale and Sedgewood, as well as organizations such as the Kent Democrats out on 301 and the KCAC on White Pond Road. Thanks also go to the many residents we saw who just got out and picked up trash in their neighborhoods without even signing up. They were all over the place before, during, and after the formal event, and your work is appreciated. We're grateful also for the support of Chief Owens and the Kent PD for distributing supplies and doing safety checks. And thanks also go to Highway Superintendent Offmore and the Kent Highway crew for the electronic signage before the event and all of the trash pickup afterwards. So hats off to you all. Second, I have some good news that the town was awarded through the Zero Emission Municipal or Vehicle Infrastructure Grant Program. We have been awarded $23,000 to put in our first ever charging stations here at Town Hall for electric vehicles. So that's a program that will be starting on later this year. And then I want to announce a few things at the library. First of all, tech support. If you're having any issues with any of your devices, you can come on to the library anytime on Saturdays, 10 to noon or 12:30 to 2:30 to get support. They're continuing the Pause to Read program with Sunny Boy, the therapy dog. You can come in and read to Sunny Boy tomorrow from 4 to 5, and then I think they have a couple of dates in May as well. The program seems to be ongoing, May 10th and May 24th as well. On the 6th of May, there's going to be a program on understanding Alzheimer's and dementia at the library with Joan Carl of the Alzheimer's Association. Open registration, 1 to 2 p.m. in the program room. And then there's going to be, apparently this is a regular program, Battle of the Books. It's a reading incentive program for middle school students. And there's an informational meeting about the program at the Kent Library on Thursday the 27th at 4 o'clock, 4 to 4:45. And registration is required for that. And I think that's all I have. Thanks.
I got one more that I forgot to say. I'm going to say it until it's beach time. We are having lifeguard training at Lake Carmel again this year, so get your kids out there, get them trained. Your grandkids, your neighbors that are driving you nuts, yelling and screaming, send them down for lifeguard training and we'll give them a job for the summer.
Also, Rob, did I see you posted that you're having the fishing contest? Did you have a date for it?
Yes.
What date is that?
The date is actually Saturday, June 17th.
Saturday, June 17th, fishing derby, Lake Carmel Parks Department, correct? And where are you having that at? Where's it? What beach?
Where I've always had it before, Beach 4, and as Councilman Ruth mentioned, it's going to be beautiful now that we have the new bulkhead that's in there with the bench, so really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Looks nice. Have you seen it?
Looks terrific.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They did a nice job and they did it fast.
Yes.
And people were happy.
Good.
All right, any public comment?
The school board vote is coming up for their budget, and the superintendent was at our last Carmel Kent Chamber meeting, and I did ask about the assessments again. You know, we're not at 100%, we keep going down every year. I'm thinking we have to address this because, you know, we're paying more money in school taxes than the other towns because they are at 100%.
So we've asked our tax assessor to start giving us some, what we might call estimates or quotes so that we can get a dollar amount on what it's going to cost to do the assessment. Get ready for the sticker shock, but we understand that it's our responsibility to get this right and we're ready to take it
For 20
on.
years, we were 100%.
I know.
And then when I brought this up a couple years ago, when Maureen was here and was told I was wrong, and again, it was confirmed, Sean was there, you know, that we're paying quite a bit more.
Unfair portion out of the other, what is there, 7 townships that have a part in Carmel
6,
schools?
I think, but
Something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And it's it's because of the assessment, and we're well aware of it, and
And I don't want to be like Carmel, 20 years from now, do a revalve and really put people into shock. So I think we have to look at, how we can.
I think in previous town boards, I've always been in favor of reassessment, once I understood it. It takes a little
Right.
bit to kind of wrap your head
Yes.
around and understand
Yes,
how it works.
absolutely.
I've always been in favor of it, but we did have some past town board members that were not supportive of it, but
Yeah,
I
I'll
think,
name them, Paul Denbaum and Maureen Fleming.
but I think,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna throw names out there.
I will.
But I think now at this point, we have support of the board to, start the process. Would you agree?
Okay,
We
good.
are, we're working on it.
Yeah,
And
because
Seth
it's just
is
going to get
working-
worse instead of,
Well, we
gotta-
have plans to do it this
Okay.
year. And Seth is just working on the numbers and stuff. He had to get through a certain point in what he was doing work-wise, so he's working on the numbers.
Great. My other question was, the community center. Okay, do we know how much it's going to cost to take the building down?
So you took the engineers down there, just what, last week?
Yeah, I believe it was
Last
yes.
week. So the engineers have been there, we have not gotten their assessment yet on it.
And have we priced any modular type buildings at all?
They're doing
They're,
both for
they're
us.
gonna do the.
Oh, they're gonna do that
They're gonna do
too?
both path options for us
Okay.
and come back to us with that.
Oh, that's good.
But I did speak to him last Thursday night, and they're gonna get on it. They
Yeah.
understand that there's a need to move that along quickly also.
And pointing out to them too that there's some very specific things that we need to carry over into the new building
Yeah.
if we go with a new building, or, people's memories of the building that are currently there. So they're very respectful of those items.
Are those the same what engineer firm?
It's
is-
Barton and Lejudas. It's one of them off our list. It's the same ones we're using for the old Carmel Town Hall down here.
Okay. And the other one was the soil and excavation law. I know it's the mining law, but, I go to the planning board meetings and it's very confusing. And February was when, everything was done. It's already been 3 months. Don't you think, got to get together, whether it's a mining law or a soil and excavation law, before you have a public hearing, I would think.
Your ears are ringing, because I was just talking to Nancy about that right before. And it's an
Okay.
excavation law, it's
See, I
not a
even wrote
mining
it on my
law.
little list of things.
It's an excavation law, not a
It's going to be
mining
the
law.
soil and because we
Yeah.
don't allow mining, so
That's
it's going to be a
correct.
soil and excavation
So
law.
within the next week, I will reach out to them and we'll schedule a joint meeting with the planning board to get one more review. Nancy's gonna forward it back over to me again because it rolls off my email so
Right.
fast. We'll get it over to them, ask them to review it internally. We'll meet together, discuss any issues they have with it, and we're ready to go to public hearing right after
Yeah,
we come to
okay,
an
because the
agreement.
project is coming back. Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other public comment? Nothing, Bobby? No. All right. Motion for-
I don't know what we're going in for. You just said we had to go.
To
in. I don't know
discuss
what it was.
threatened or pending litigation.
I make a motion to go to executive session to discuss pending litigation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice night. We'll see you next Tuesday.